Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Blissful Literati. In our last grammar lesson, we talked about sentences, the various kinds of, and today we are going to talk about how to join these sentences. You see, sentences, they are a combination of various words in a logical, proper grammatical sequence. Now, these words which come in a sentence, they belong to different families which we call parts of speech. Now, every family has its own role to play. Some provide us with names, some provide us with their alternatives, some provide us with the action, some determine the relationship between the two parts of a sentence, and again, there are some which join two different sentences or ideas, phrases, clauses, even words. In short, they work as an adhesive, like Fevikwik. You have got something broken, get some Fevikwik, and the two parts are joined again like a new thing. So similarly, we have these kind of Fevikwik for sentences as well, sentences, words as well. These Fevikwiks in grammar are known as conjunctions. Basically, you see, without conjunctions, you will be forced to say everything in a single sentence punctuated by full stops, and it will sound rather monotonous with no variation. But when we use conjunctions, we get some variation. We get to say the same thing in different manners, and depending on the conjunction we use, a sentence may take on different connotations, different senses, implications. So let's start. We will start with the definition. What is a conjunction? So let's see. Conjunctions, as we have already discussed, you perhaps already understood it. Basically, they are the linking words. The feviquick or the adhesive, as we mentioned, basically they are the linking words. They join different elements in a sentence or multiple sentences into one whole sentence. So, conjunctions are words which join multiple words, clauses, phrases, or even sentences into one single meaningful sentence unit. So, remember these conjunctions that we have. Sometimes the same word which serves as a conjunction may also play different roles. Remember the old movies where the same character played two different roles, sometimes the hero and sometimes the villain, or maybe they are two brothers but totally different in their nature, character, as in Jurwa or Jurwa 2. So conjunctions, sometimes they are the same element, same word, but they take on different roles. For example, the same word which is used as conjunction can also be used as preposition or adverb. Now, if we are to identify the conjunction in any given sentence, for example, in exams, different sentences are given, and we are asked to identify the conjunctions. Now, it is very important for us to recognize the conjunction in them because we don't know whether the word there is used as conjunction or preposition or adverb or maybe something else. But basically, these are the three confusing types. What I mean? Let's have some examples to get this thing clear. First of all, we have been here before. Now, note the word before. It tells us about the time. We have been here when, before. So, before here is used as an adverb. Next, you see, the magical palace suddenly appeared before me. Now, here the word before is positioned, placed before the pronoun me, and thereby establishes a relationship between me and the magical palace. The magical palace suddenly, all of a sudden, out of the blue, appeared before me. So, preposition, positioned before the pronoun me. Preposition, the same word before. In the first sentence, used as an adverb and now as a preposition. Let's have another one. I shall make breakfast before he arrives. Now you see here there are two sentences. I shall make breakfast, sentence number one, and he arrives, sentence number two. But the word before combines these two sentences into one single meaningful unit. So here the word before is used as conjunction. Now I hope I have made this clear before you whether the word that we are using in a sentence is a conjunction or adverb or preposition. It is very important to identify because otherwise you may lose your precious marks. Now let's talk about the types of conjunctions. Conjunctions are broadly divided into two types. Number one, coordinating conjunctions, and number two, subordinating conjunctions. So, what are these two types of conjunctions? But before that, before we move on to the different types, let's summarize the purpose of using conjunctions in a sentence. See, conjunctions help us form complex sentences. You see, when you have dal chawal every day, rice and dal every day, it becomes monotonous. And in the same way, if you have biryani every day, it again becomes monotonous. What we need is a nice balanced combination of rice and dal or chapati dal and biryani so that our test palate they are happy and we are happy. We love the variation. So similarly, speaking only in simple sentences or speaking only in complex sentences, they are not up to our taste. So what we need is a combination of the two. And what is the best way to combine different sentences into one single complex sentence unit than to use conjunctions? So we can use simple sentences punctuated by full stops, and then suddenly we can combine several such sentences into one whole unit by using conjunctions. And that is the most important role of conjunctions, to combine several simple sentence units into an elegant sentence. And at the same time, it helps us avoid the choppiness of multiple short sentences. However, always remember that conjunctions, the units which you are joining with conjunctions, they remain the same kind. Okay, same part of speech. You join adverbs with adverbs, adjectives with adjectives. You will not join. If you do that, you may come up with a wrong sentence. You should not join adjective and adverb using conjunctions. They should always remain parallel. That is, they must share the same structure, not just part of speech wise, but the whole sentence or the phrase unit, the subject verb arrangement. When you're joining phrases, they must be parallel phrases sharing the same structure. However, we will deal with this when we go to the chapter of phrases after this. So now moving on to the coordinating conjunctions. There are several types of coordinating conjunctions. Let's get acquainted with them. But even before that, let's first have the definition. So coordinating, you notice the word co. Co means equal, cooperation, equally operating, both units operating equally to produce something. Collaborative, two-person, two units participating, contributing equally to produce something. So coordinating, these conjunctions, they join units of equal rank. They are called coordinating conjunctions. Equal rank, by that I mean the elements which they join are independent of each other. They don't depend on each other, basically. So they join pairs of nouns. You see, note the word pairs. Pairs, by that I mean the same thing, the balance, the parallel. Nouns with nouns, adjectives with adjectives, adverbs with adverbs, verbs with verbs, phrases with phrases, and clauses with clauses. So coordinating conjunctions, they join units which are independent of each other and they join pairs of them. They don't confuse one kind with the other while joining them. So these are coordinating conjunctions. Now, clauses. Again, we will visit this after we complete phrases. So just wait. Clauses joined by coordinating conjunctions, they are called coordinating clauses. Because why? Basically, when we join these clauses, even after joining them, they remain independent of each other. They don't depend. You see, you can have a sentence like, I came home and he went away. Your coming home and his going away are not dependent on each other, right? You came home on your own and he went away on his own time. So they are coordinating clauses joined by the coordinating conjunction and. Even when separated, they will mean something and they will mean something complete. I came home, full stop, complete meaning. He went away, full stop, again, complete meaning. So coordinating conjunctions, they join clauses who are not dependent on each other. Basically, they're independent of each other and do not enter into their construction at all. They have their own separate construction. Now, some examples. He plays football and cricket. You see, we're joining two nouns, football, cricket, with the conjunction and. We can have different sentences. He plays football, full stop. He plays cricket, again, full stop. And they will mean the same thing, complete sense. We're simply joining the two nouns, pairs of noun, with the conjunction and. Rajiv takes care of the daily chores and keeps the house in his father's absence. So takes care of what? Daily chores and does what? Keeps the house in his father's absence. So again, these two phrases, they are joined together by this conjunction and they mean, even they have a complete meaning when they're separated. Rajiv takes care of the daily chores in his father's absence. Rajiv keeps the house in his father's absence. So they have a complete meaning even when they're separated. So they are called coordinating clauses and coordinating conjunctions and. Similarly, he can neither see nor speak. He cannot see, full stop. He cannot see, full stop. Complete meaning, all correct, all good. Now we're joining it with neither nor, coordinating conjunctions. He is poor but honest. Again, just I know you can easily separate it. What will it be? Yes, he is poor, full stop. He is honest, full stop. There's a contrast. We expect that somebody who is poor, somebody who needs something, is in dire need. They may resort to stealing, even some unethical means to gain something for their survival. We kinda expect this kind of things, but he's poor. Here we have a contrast. He's poor, but at the same time, he is honest. He doesn't resort to these unfair means to gain something, to continue his daily life. I can neither sing nor dance. Same thing. I can not sing. I cannot dance. Papu can't dance. Beep beep. Anyway, I can neither sing nor dance. We are combining the two elements, sing and dance. They are the verbs, and we are combining these two elements, pairs with the conjunction neither nor. So these are basically coordinating conjunctions, and now let's come to the various types of it, and then we will discuss the examples of each type in great detail. So first of all, let's have the family tree. We have cumulative conjunctions, alternative conjunctions, adversative, and elective conjunctions. And these four categories, cumulative, alternative, adversative, and elective conjunctions, they form the coordinating conjunctions family. Now, what are each of these types mean? Cumulative, alternative, adversative, and elective. Let's have a quick look at that. First of all, cumulative, they're also known as copulative conjunctions. Basically, these conjunctions, cumulative, total, copulative, addition, these conjunctions, they add various elements into one whole complete unit. So, whenever we are adding something together, joining, clubbing something, we are using cumulative conjunctions. Now, here you will ask that in the introduction, I just said that With conjunctions, we join sentences, ideas, thoughts, different parts of speech. We are joining things with conjunctions. So, what is this thing now? That if we join things, if we add things, we use cumulative conjunctions. So, you must be confused. What do we do with the rest of the conjunctions? Do they not join things? Let me tell you, conjunctions join things. That is correct. But even when they're joining something, they can produce different sentences, right? They can produce different senses. For example, when I, in this conversation, I suddenly use the word but. The moment I use the word but, what happened? It presented a contrast. It is still in the same sentence, but the sense, remember, I am using these two words, sentences and senses, implications. So sentences can be joined, words can be joined into one whole unit. But the sense, it may differ from one sense to another. Somewhere we are literally joining ideas, clubbing ideas, and sometimes we are giving options, do this or do that, like MCQ questions you have in your exams. So options are given when we are joining them. Sometimes we straight away say the opposite thing. You can do this, but you cannot do that. Opposite in your ability, capacity. So you see, sentences again can be joined. Conjunctions, they always join sentences, but the sense may mean addition, may mean opposites, may provide options, and depending on the various senses as they produce when we join sentences, words together, we have different categories of conjunctions. Simply just within this one coordinate conjunctions category. When you go to the subordinate conjunctions category, which we will discuss in a separate video because that is a huge portion. But don't worry, it may be huge, but it's not difficult. You see, conjunctions basically are really very easy to understand and to solve. So remember, cumulative or copulative conjunctions, they add. Coming back to the main point, the basic idea, these conjunctions add, they join ideas. For example, I work and he plays. So I'm adding two things about me, information about me and information about him. I work and he plays. Similarly, both Ashok and Vijay are going to Pune this weekend. So Ashok is going to Pune this weekend, Vijay is going to Pune this weekend. Both are going to Pune this weekend. Addition, joining Ashok and Vijay. They both are going to Pune. Rajesh, as well as his parents, is coming for dinner. So Rajesh is coming for dinner. His parents are coming for dinner. They all together are coming for dinner. So Rajesh, as well as his parents, is coming for dinner. So remember, you see the sense, they are being added together. Apart from the sentences being joined together, the ideas being joined together, we are also having the senses, the elements, they are clubbed together. And that is the role of cumulative or copulative conjunctions. Not only Robin, but also Inigo rose up against the sheriff. Well, this is from, I don't know whether you watch it or not, Sherwood from this YouTube original series. There we have these characters, Robin and Inigo. Now, the show is based, loosely based on the Robin Hood story, but in a modernized or you may even say a futuristic world where there is this character, Robin Hood, and his friend Inigo. They both rise up against the sheriff who is the villain in this series. So not only Robin but also Inigo. You see, we are using not only but also together to add the idea that Robin, Inigo both rose up against the sheriff. Now you see the parallel structure. Not only this element of the conjunction came before Robin, that is noun. Similarly, to maintain the parallel idea, but also the second half of this conjunction came just before inico, another noun. We would not say, if we say that, not only Robin, inico, but also, it will be wrong. We need to maintain the parallel structure. Similarly, both Ashok and Vijay, the conjunction both came before the noun Ashok. Similarly, the conjunction and came before the noun Vijay, and they are joining. You see the same parts of speech, the same elements: noun with noun, pronoun with pronoun, noun with again noun, Rajesh, parents, names, nouns with nouns, Robin, Iniko. So they join basically same elements and in the same structural pattern. He spoke against the majority decision, and you also, joining he, you, both pronouns. Now let's talk about alternative and disjunctive conjunctions. Now alternative disjunctive conjunctions, they mean basically the same thing, and what is that? They suggest alternatives this way or that way. You can either take the right side option or you can take the left side option, or you may not take any of the options. You have alternatives which you may take or you may refuse. Okay, so these are alternative or disjunctive conjunctions which provide you with options. For example, either Vikash or Sakib will do the job. So Vikash will do the job or Sakib will do the job. They both can, any one of them will. You can call any one of them. You have got a faulty pipeline, your TV is not functioning properly, your mobile is not working, any problem, you can call either Vikash or Sakib. They are both equally good and any of them can do the job for you. So alternate, you are provided with alternatives. Neither Sneha nor Snigdha will come anymore. Again, two alternatives. You have two friends, two sisters, Sneha, Snigdha. Two sisters you have, perhaps, or two friends you have, but none of them will come anymore. Maybe you have argued, maybe you have fallen out, whatever be the reason, they will not come anymore. And in this case, neither of the options, two options you had, two friends, two sisters you had, none of them are going to come. Next, we have shoot or you will be shot at. Well, this reminds me of the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There is a famous dialogue in the movie where this character says, when shoot, shoot, don't talk. So, shoot or you will be shot at. Two options you have. You can shoot or you can stand there. You know the classic mistake that villains in any movies make. Take, for example, Gajini. The villain could have easily killed Amir Khan, the character played by Amir Khan, easily. He was just lying there on the ground. But what he did instead? He went on talking, lengthy speech. He was making lengthy speeches. And by the time, what happened? Amir Khan got up, got the time, relaxed, chilled, and defeated the villain. So shoot, when you're about to do something, do that, or somebody else will take the prize away. So two options: either you get the prize, or somebody else will get the prize. Shoot, or you will be shot at. The same thought joined together with another conjunction: keep shooting, otherwise you will be shot at. You know the last leg of PUBG or Modern Combat 5, whichever game you take. Keep shooting. You have enough quantity of ammo and guns at your disposal. So keep shooting. Don't stop, because if you do, the other people, the other players, they will shoot you and you will lose the match. So keep shooting, otherwise you will be shot at. Two options. You can keep shooting or people can shoot at you. So two options, whichever you take. Alternatives, two alternatives. Choose your. Next we have adversative conjunctions. Now you see, adversative, you see, in this word we have this sense adversary. And what is adversary? Who are adversaries? Adversaries are people who are pitted against each other, your enemy. You say potato, your enemy will say potato. You say tomato, he or she will say tomato. So potato, potato, tomato, tomato. These options, British English, American English, Indian English, even, they all present before us adversities, oppositions, right? So adversative conjunctions provide us with opposites. For example, if somebody says go right, somebody else will say go left. And in this way, the oppositions will be presented and adversaries will come face to face. Let's have some examples to get the idea clear in our head. He is ugly, but he is not mean minded. You can replace but with yet or still, and it will still mean the same thing. So, he is ugly. One fact, he is not mean minded. It is generally accepted. I don't know why. I'm not, promoting gender bias or any kind of bias. I'm not doing that. But it is generally accepted, just as boys prefer blue and girls prefer pink. It is generally accepted that whoever is ugly, they are a little bit mean minded. Maybe one reason is because the society looks down upon them. They are forced to become mean minded. They face so much problem from all the corners of the society that they have no other option but to be mean minded. They think everybody in front of them is an enemy. Everybody looks at them with an accusatory look in their eyes. It is not their fault, basically. It is the fault of the society because they do that. Just take a look at the newspaper matrimonial columns. Right. People are right now protesting against this killing by the American police. This George Floyd, I think his name, this black guy, or should I say black? I don't think so. Colored guy, colored person. But while we are protesting about it, do we ever consider to remove that fair skinned tag from the matrimonial ads? We don't do that, but we are shouting, right? So we need to understand the society, they make people like that. I'm not promoting, I repeat, any kind of biasness here. So he is ugly. It is accepted truth that he will be mean minded. People accept this kind of truth, but here we have the opposite, the contrast. He is ugly, but he is not mean minded. Rather, he is really quite gentle, friendly, amiable. Next, we have the job is boring. However, I will complete it. If we don't like something, I don't know about you, but personally speaking, if I don't like something, I find it really difficult to complete it. Sometimes I even leave it, don't even complete it. But this sentence indicates the job is boring, right? But again, a contrast. Instead of leaving the job, instead of stopping midway, the speaker says he will complete it. So, however, I will complete it, again providing an opposite notion. And see, the sentences are joined together, but the sense that they imply indicate opposite notion. Whatever was expected to happen, the opposite thing is happening. I am busy this weekend. Nevertheless, I will make time for you. If I'm busy this weekend, I will not have time for anything. However, since it is you, I will make time for you. So, nevertheless, again going against the grain. Whatever is expected, if I am busy this weekend, it is expected that I will be busy in my work and will have no time for social communication or anything. But suddenly the opposite happens. I make time for somebody. I do not doubt you. On the contrary, I trust you wholeheartedly. Maybe Jon Snow bending his knee because he doesn't doubt Queen Dany. On the contrary, he trusts her wholeheartedly. That is why he bent his knee. So I do not doubt you. A contrast. I expected you to doubt me, but in an opposite way, in the opposite fashion, you actually trust me with wholeheartedly. You don't doubt me. So again, it is coming as opposite to what was expected. You stayed in touch while your sister didn't. You can even replace while with whereas, but the meaning will remain the same. A contrast. Literally speaking, practically speaking, you stayed in touch. Yes, it was expected that since she's your sister, she too will, but she didn't. So you stayed in touch while opposite contrast, your sister didn't. You can keep the medallion, only don't touch the Horcrux. Maybe Harry saying this thing to Ron Weasley, that he can keep the medallion. You remember Deathly Hallows, the final part where this kind of pendant they would keep hanging around the neck, which would make the mean-minded really. So the medallion, it was a Horcrux. So you can keep the medallion, but don't touch the Horcrux in it because it will only make you worse. Your mental condition worsen if you do that. So contrast, keep it, but don't touch it. Now moving on to the final category, we have the elective conjunctions. Now, elative comes from elation, Illation, which again means inference, drawing conclusion. Like, for example, in mathematics, we use this sign, right? Therefore, we complete a sum and then we put this therefore sign and we write whatever conclusion we can draw. Even if you have chemistry, lab, practical, manual you are making. So, any kind of experiment you have conducted, you are noting down the points about it. You finally put this therefore mark to provide the inference. What you found from that particular experiment. So this is elective conjunctions which give us the result of something or effect. He didn't pay any attention in the class, therefore, so or consequently he failed. All mean the same thing. Therefore, he failed. So he failed. Consequently, he failed. Every word here provides the consequence. So why he failed? Because he didn't pay any attention in the class. Next, we have I do not trust him for he lies a lot. You see, why I don't trust him? Because he lies a lot. So, similarly, here also we have the consequence. What is the consequence of his lies? The consequence is nobody trusts him. Now, here we come to an end of this coordinating conjunctions. Before we move on to the final section, one mnemonic device I have left for you. Before we move on to that, let's first correct one misconception. You see, in schools, even we were taught when we used to write answers, we were taught that there are only certain words with which you can start an answer. You should not start it with conjunctions, but, and, when. You should not start any answer with it. WH words especially. But let me tell you, this rule doesn't apply anymore. Conjunctions, whether it is coordinating or subordinating, they can and they do begin sentences. So next time when you're writing an answer, just go ahead with it. Don't think that your writing is wrong or maybe somebody will object. Use conjunctions if needed. And sometimes, when you use conjunctions at the beginning of a sentence, they bring a dramatic effect to it. So, again, go ahead, try, experiment. Remember that grammar is really fluid. You keep experimenting with it, and if you succeed, that experiment becomes a norm, a rule. So, don't be afraid of bringing any changes in your writing. Keep experimenting. That's what I suggest. Next, we have the mnemonic device for coordinating conjunctions. For example, you see, let's have the words. First of all, Fanboys. Basically, fanboys. Become a fan of coordinating conjunctions, and what you get, right? You get for F, and for A. N gives you nor, neither. B gives you but, or comes from O. Y provides yet, and finally S gives you so. So with this, all you fans of grammar, blissful literati here, and conjunctions, here we come to an end to this part of our discussion, coordinating conjunctions. The next part will see subordinating conjunctions, and we will again, I'm very confident about it, we will again be able to breeze through the technicalities and learn whatever is that learn about subordinating conjunctions and by extension subordinating clauses. But again, we will talk about clauses in great detail in the respective places. For now, if you have understood this part well and good, do go to the link provided for this Google Form quiz on coordinating conjunctions and test your understanding. If you have any doubt, any questions, do leave a comment and we will definitely get back to you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.